Stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We ask for guidance so that we may make fair and just decisions for the people in the village of Leonard.
Almirante.
Here.
Westmoreland.
Here.
Noaker.
Here.
Swack.
Here.
Zelnor. Here.
We have an approval of the agenda. The agenda technically has not changed from the last week. Anybody would make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Approval of the minutes. We'll have a few minutes to look at the minutes. Pretty standard, if we could have a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the September 19th meeting.
Do we have support?
I'll support it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. We have one member in the audience, our new president. Do you have any business that you'd like to put in front of the planning commission?
No, I'm just here to see how you guys go about doing business, 'cause I don't know anything about it, and I thought there might be people on here I don't know. I don't know you.
Hi, I'm Katie Westmoreland.
I thought you were Westmoreland. I was looking at that. I know everybody but Westmoreland. I had to be you. So I'm the new president of the council.
Okay.
Under item number 2 is planning commission business. Planning commission officer reassignments. As of today, I don't believe we have anybody who has offered to be the president or the chairperson of the planning commission. So if we can have a motion to elect me, if it is your wishes, to elect me again as the temporary pro tem president or chairperson for this meeting.
I would like to nominate Jennifer Swack as president pro tem for this meeting. And until the next meeting, if one is decided.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I did not vote because I thought it was, I have a conflict of interest, so I did not vote.
Can we do a roll call on that?
Okay.
Zelnor? Yes. Swack?
Hold on.
Yoder? Okay. Noaker?
Yes.
Westmoreland?
Yes.
Almirante?
Does that give us a quorum?
Yes.
All right, so roll call vote, motion
So
passes.
you abstain.
Yes, I abstain.
Just want to make a little note.
Just to make sure there's no conflict of interest.
Right, right. Okay.
Item 2B would be sidewalk projects or a plan update. We have a meeting on Tuesday, right?
Yes.
And that was to officially obtain, or is this the questions about, any questions related to obtaining the little sliver of property?
I think that's going to be part of the discussion, correct?
It's part of it, yeah.
Is part of it, okay. What was the rest, was it sidewalk stuff, or was it just? part
Well,
of
it happens, that little slice is what's going to free up the area, the easement for the sidewalk.
To let us go through without getting close to the road and kind of make it continuous,
Yes.
things like that. We have no sidewalk projects at this time, right?
We do not, although the budget was just rebooted and the other older monies that are in the community development block grant are going to go away, and what we'll be left with is 2023 and 2024, we'll have $7,000 in minor home repair and $7,000 in remove architectural barriers. We can apply, remove architectural barriers to connectivity if we could make a connection somewhere to allow for like flow of traffic. And then we can do it, and we can use that money, but we'll just have to be careful about how we do it.
Should we,
Is there any time limit on that cash.
We need to use it fast and we need to use it up.
Okay.
And that's really what they're saying now is the way it works. Before, we could do a lot of little small projects. If somebody needed gutters, you give them $1,000 here and a little bit there. You could just kind of nibble away at these little small accounts. Now you must take the whole thing or half, and you can only use it in 2 chunks. They don't want it reprogrammed. So, like I said, when we started kind of with a moderately clean slate, we were only hanging over our head 2023 and 2024, but they will dictate how it's used up. But I don't think it's going to be an issue. If we can apply some of that money to what we have ahead of us, we'll use that all up, and then perhaps what we could do is we could apply something from another budget somewhere else to do the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm just looking, so we have a deadline on that to make sure that we get plenty of time so we.
I'm hoping that, like, that's a conversation with you guys. Maybe you can take that to the park committee and let them know that if there's something that it could be combined and they could get started this spring, summer, or fall, it'd really be advantageous for us to use up that money
Okay.
that season. Because then we won't do any work after that, and then it will be a carryover. Yeah.
I think there's got to be a lot of little places that we can fill that.
There's a lot of little places that we kind of came up with before,
Mhm.
number 306,
Yeah.
the little pieces at the church. There's a lot of little things that can be done. The problem was Don was injured. He wasn't able to do the work.
Mhm.
Now I think perhaps maybe if he's recovered, that's something that, our next meeting we could have a conversation about is what one would the planning commission like to see tackled?
Okay.
What's the best use of the budget? Because it's not huge.
Yeah.
Get it done.
And I
You know?
guess it would be nice to know a little bit on cost, that way we could almost, even if we had an estimate to maybe, like an estimate per so many feet, something like that, that way you can look at it, because there's, like you said, the one by the church over here is a larger section between,
It is a larger section.
and I wouldn't want to say, okay, we're gonna do that one plus 7 others, and then that one gets picked up. 'cause it's too
And then
much.
perhaps prioritize,
Yeah,
like who thinks of the 4 places that we had kind of talked about, what's gonna get the most walking traffic that's gonna
Right.
be helpful? Now, there's a lot of them that we can't do, so don't get too excited, Katie, because I know, because she's our resident walker of,
Resident disconnected?
Yeah, so there's like approved parcels that, it makes it easier, to approve them if they're like well-worn paths.
Right.
Because then if they're well-worn paths, then we're not worrying about disturbing anything and having to go through like historical, places and having to go through architectural things to get things done. It makes it a little bit like easier for us.
Yeah.
So there is that one spot that, is it 306? Am I saying it wrong?
You are, no, it's 306.
It is 306. Okay, it's the one
Toward the school on the
Right.
south
on the
side.
other side. They used to have dogs that would bark at me all the time when I would go in there. I don't know if they do, but there's 2 little disconnected
They have
pieces.
smaller dogs now, they're not the same.
Okay.
New folks.
That's, so, I mean, that's something, what do you guys think?
I think we should definitely put a plan together, because if the money needs to be used, I want something that we can just go,
Okay.
it's
So,
fast to give.
so we need
Well-
to find prices. We need to,
Yeah.
you've done this before, haven't you?
Not pricey.
You-
no.
Like, I mean, what's the methodology for that?
I was gonna say, should we ask Don?
Let's just ask Don.
Yeah, that way he
Okay.
can kind of guide
Maybe
us
he
on.
can,
I would like to kind of priority some of these spots there, especially if they're accident,
Yes.
you know.
If they're trip
because-
hazards?
absolutely.
Yes.
Get those
Right.
first.
Can some of those be shaved, or they have to be filled?
Yeah, they can be shaved.
A couple of them can be.
That's a machine that we don't have, I don't.
No, we don't, but, okay. Yeah, you're right. But yes, safety would probably be first, connectivity and traffic would be,
Right.
those are all
And
priorities.
then we would need wood for the forms, because we're gonna
Yeah.
have to put forms, maybe we have it, maybe we don't. Cement,
And you probably can't use the same forms for
Um,
multiple locations.
whatever that base layer
Sure.
is, and then,
Agrees, as much as we
slag.
can, yeah.
and then, labor. Okay,
Because then after that, it would be kind of maybe measuring the areas, because we don't have any measurements on those areas. We have them called out, but we don't know how big they are to know, is this one 1,000, is this one 50
I
bucks? Is this-
might have something relatively close, because I did have to give them
Oh,
an amount, so I think I used one of the programs that, you and I have talked about, you use it sometimes in real estate too,
okay.
to kind of estimate
Oh,
what we
okay.
were looking at, like for the project, or how many feet we were looking at.
And I know you're new, we may not all have the same sheet that I'm looking at right here, which I'm looking at one color, but I'll get this for you then and just email it over, even if I have to scan the whole thing in. It's technically, I guess Leslie would probably have this too, would she?
Yes.
All right, so I gotta get that from Leslie then. That way we can make it part of the master plan and just somehow put it in there and get it to a spot that's a little bit more common for everybody, because she's got there's lots of pictures and stuff like that that you can, yeah. Okay. So I think, yeah, just putting I don't know if we need a motion for that, probably not, because there's nothing to present at this time. So right now it's still kind of an information gathering.
Right.
But it's a
right.
good time, it's spring, as soon as the ground is thawed and ready to go, you can start working.
Correct.
I do think it's kind of funny that you have to, no, don't let me just replace that switch on your furnace. We're gonna have to give you the furnace because we have to use it all the time. It's just so stupid. I can help 10 people instead of one person. It's
One or two. Thank goodness, I mean, not thank goodness, but things are so expensive. Sometimes by the time you put the labor in it anyway.
Yeah.
I think last time we helped a resident with the furnace 2 years ago, we tapped the whole thing. There's nothing left.
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't be able to survive that way. It's just
Yeah.
too much money.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments, thoughts for sidewalk projects? All
How
right.
much black grant money are we sitting on?
7,000 in remove architectural barriers, which is what would be used towards sidewalks.
That's not gonna be
7,000 in minor home repair, which is to help local, actually $6,000, because I did do a small project for a local resident. So, yes,
The gutters?
The gutters.
They look good.
it's,
I check them all the time.
that's awesome.
I don't know if she's checking them, but I'm checking them.
The reason I'm asking that is after we get to the end of the park boundary with the sidewalk, at that point, we have to have a connector to Beza Street, that part of the sidewalk.
Right.
We're gonna have to get money from somewhere to do that. It's not, that 7 grand isn't gonna get you very far anyway, when you're talking cement.
I think we would be using the park money for that. We do have a generous benefactor kind of helped us out with the park, and so I
You can use
think,
park money outside of the park.
but it,
That's a connector to the park,
It's-
so. It's
but it's part of the park plan as a whole, is it not? Or is that considered
Well,
outside of the?
The plan was drawn up with making sure that there's room for the sidewalks. There's an easement there for it.
Oh,
also
okay.
not necessarily put it
So it's gonna
inside.
show where it can go. Technically, it still is on village property, the sidewalks.
Okay, correct.
Yeah.
Sure, because it's the
So-
right way. Okay.
Finagle with that. Because of the cost right now, with what the full project cost on the park is yet to be seen.
Okay. I believe in Sherry's bequest that she was strict about what she wanted to see the money go toward, what the money was not to go toward. And, you know, she really wanted it to go into making the park something that everybody could enjoy, maintenance of the park, things like that. But I'm wondering if that would be considered part of the overall, like, making the park something that's usable. I don't know.
Is her request available to review, just to make sure that we're following what needs to be?
It's probably somewhere. I just,
I mean, like you said, I
the
would.
previous administration probably had it. I remember I had a conversation about it, but,
Maybe that she was specific, I'd want to make sure we follow it. But,
correct.
I mean, I wouldn't want to
Correct.
just assume,
No.
yeah.
No.
She was like totally against sidewalks. So.
Yeah.
I don't know that, I don't know, yeah.
She probably wouldn't be, but you know what I mean.
Right,
hate those sidewalks.
right.
You need to find out.
No, there's drawings within the drawing that will have because you have an entrance and an exit, basically, and that's where the sidewalk's gonna go across. So, I mean, it's gonna connect to the park itself because of the parking situation.
Right.
And it makes it easier to walk there to get in.
Right, I mean, it kind of almost makes it like an incomplete project if we're going to be like that and say, okay, now we've done this work at the park, we've added a parking lot, we put curbs in, we did all these things, but oh, nope, we're not going to do this one little section. It does seem unusual, but I don't know, I guess it's something for you guys to talk about at your thing. And it's been so long since I've looked at the, Rose proposal for what they were gonna do. Doug, I mean, your brain's in there all the time.
Yeah,
Is that part of,
that is it. I've got, the other breakdowns of it.
That's what we're talking about, the Forest Street's here.
Yeah,
You're talking about, here's Pollyant.
you know, from
So it's this, you're talking about this section right here.
this, this would be Pollyanna section.
Oh, I got it, okay, yeah, this is
Okay.
Pollyant right here, so we're technically, this little chunk,
That little chunk is now
That's the
that
Ashley.
will become part of
yep,
the park.
okay.
But yeah, see, they've drawn in
Yeah, they drew in sidewalks.
sidewalks for it.
Oh, so that was an assumption of something.
I have to go through the,
Work order and see
work
if
orders and see if that was
what they were doing.
included
or-
in the pricing and,
Yeah.
and the amounts and stuff like that. I'll do that, I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, yeah, if you would. Like I said, that kind of helps out on knowing
You know,
your question, you know.
it's gonna be quite a deal just to get it to where, I know that she wanted it to be available to people.
Correct.
And we wanted to make sure that includes handicap, and that's where the price
That's where
goes up because of what has to be done.
and here's the thing too, though, we have no choice just because of accessibilities and the ADA Act, and I think it's just, as like citizens of the planet, just wanting to do the right thing for people that have all abilities. So it seems to me like, and I think that, knowing Sherry, she would have wanted that too.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, For
Yeah.
sure. All right.
If I can say something, I was looking at those plans again, and it looks like we could put the approach into that parking lot at the same time we do the sidewalks.
My only thing on
That can be
that,
done before the paving project.
yeah, is they will know what kind of equipment needs to come in to do the pathway around there. And it's gotta be dug up, so I mean,
Yeah, it would give us better access too for heavy equipment if we had that approach in.
depending on how heavy the stuff is gotta be coming in. I don't wanna see it broken up,
I think that's it too. I think that, yeah.
we'll be careful with that, and
Right.
definitely wanna keep an eye on that, for sure.
Right, if nothing else, they could put some slag in or something like that.
Yeah, they can make the part of it, make it solid enough that they can get the larger vehicles in as needed.
Mm-hmm.
But we're a little bit down the line on that.
It's fun to think about though. Nice to see
Well,
some
it's good
progress.
to kind of throw it out there, because like you said, there is a repaving project that has to happen. There is the sidewalks that, so it is good to at least get it out there and start thinking
Right.
about it, so.
I mean, this plan even talks about redoing what needs to be redone with the Pollyanna Trail going across the road. And it's also including restriping of the road, indicating that it's a walkway and a bikeway. So it's, all that information is there, and then
Does that follow the request?
it's really not requested part, but that's what needs to have done for safety for one, within the village, and to get to the park.
Yeah. no,
So
Makes sense.
it entwines several things. We just want to make sure it all falls in where it's supposed to.
Mhm.
And like I said, as long as it'd just be nice to see some of the verbiage to make sure that we're not doing anything that's against what she would have wanted.
Yeah.
So, like I said, more than likely, she'd be more than happy with that. Like I said, it continues to connect to make safety,
Yep.
but just want to make sure. Since the verbiage is there. Okay, we'll move on to item 2C, which is master plan review and revision. Unfortunately, we're still working on it. This is taking forever, sorry everybody. Leslie has the files. She said Judy had a file. Judy looked at me silly when I told her she might have a file. So we go back to Leslie. I know you've been busy. I've been sidetracked myself. And what needs to happen is I need to get a hold of Leslie, call her up and just bring her coffee or donuts or something like that, sit there and go over some of the stuff, just to learn how to use the program that she used. I don't know what she used. I do have a village laptop that it has nothing else on it, since I think she said the files were huge.
Huge. Because she used to do.
Yeah, she did computer stuff, so she's super savvy.
She does, and,
But that's the only laptop that I have with nothing.
right,
on it.
I think she's got
Closest
that, the fancy Adobe program that does all the really cool stuff. That's how she was able to like create
Yeah.
the maps and everything. I don't think the village computer could handle it. You know, I wouldn't plug it, I wouldn't plug it into that, you know.
I might be able to make up a drive for it.
Yeah, Linda kind of did the same thing, didn't
Oh.
she?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got
that's
Oh.
a
right.
side drive that I use on my stuff,
Okay,
so I can take it offline
Oh.
and stuff.
that's a resource I haven't
Right.
thought
I
about.
didn't know, and I don't know what he's talking about, so you must be good.
I dabble with that stuff. I've built computers and stuff, so I dabble with it. But
Okay.
yeah, I just come across a neat little article for less than $200. I can make a 2 terabyte drive that plugs in.
Huh.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
Last time I touched the insides of computers, the monitors were 14 inches. That was it, I'm done.
So
Okay, so that's what's in the works. If you have access to any of that, I would be willing to come over or sit with you guys and go through. So I don't expect you to do that stuff. I would want to at least maybe learn how to do it, or,
yeah,
because it's gonna be a lot of, it wasn't this one, it was,
find out what sizes of the for the program and the
okay. I
files
probably need
that's
to get it.
required,
Yeah,
and that'll tell you what size we can do.
because a lot of the stuff that was in here was, I think we talked about updating data, getting updated stats, because it looks like population change, and we've got 2000, 2010, now 2020 would be available, correct? Because it's a 10-year
because the
cycle.
census, right.
And then, so it was simple things like updating stats, maybe changing,
Yeah, some photos and things.
And there were some things that we talked about that is data that's available through Oakland County,
yeah.
and just a matter of just plugging in the updated data and taking out the old
Right.
data. And the great thing is, not a lot has changed with us
Right.
here in Leonard, as much as it has with the surrounding communities, where they do impact us a little bit. So usually we use that data for, you know, Edison Township and whoever our neighbors, well, they technically are our neighbor because they encompass us.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, it was stuff like that. We're not trying to, it shouldn't be big changes.
yeah,
Right.
we're not gonna reinvent the wheel, we just wanna touch it up.
Right.
Hmm.
Kind of tighten things up a little bit. And referencing the sewer study and the sidewalk plan.
That's right.
I think we had a question about whether or not we wanted to add anything about cannabis to this plan, but I can leave.
We're gonna talk to Caitlin about
Okay,
that.
all right. I'll just make a note of that, so we can probably even. Just ask for any email. Updating names, things like that, but yeah, it's,
Yeah, if you can get the size of the files that's required. I'll look into that.
size of files and programs used. All right, so like I said, I think she was able to put it on this. That tells you it's not
No.
so big.
Yeah, so it's not more than a terabyte.
Yeah, it was a flash drive, right? A flash
I'm not
drive?
sure if it was a flash drive or not. It sounded like it was a burned disk,
Oh, was it?
but
Oh,
I could be wrong.
I thought it was a, okay.
It's probably a flash drive. So yeah, that probably gives you a better idea. It's not, we don't need some
Yeah.
huge thing of that. So. Issues or items to add to an annual report. I don't think we have anything from this meeting that I would add to the annual report.
When do we want to submit that? Because this is the end of our fiscal.
We submit that to the council. Is that something that we need to review here before we submit to council?
I don't know, because we've never done it before. I don't know what the process is for it. Good
I guess
question.
Okay, so.
We could probably just via email, perhaps, amongst the planning commissioners.
Because there won't be decisions made in it, it's more of a review of what has already happened.
Would it be easiest if we just put something out and said, these are the things that we covered that would go into the annual report? Does
Yeah.
everyone concur? And then if everyone does concur,
Then
I guess whatever you think the next step is, which I don't recall.
I'll look here, because I think
They brought it up when we went to that
they did.
seminar, but I don't remember, like, if they actually sat down and broke down the steps of what we're supposed to do. They all assumed we were doing that.
Correct.
And so that's where I think a lot of us were kind of like,
Uh-oh.
okay, well, we'll make sure we do one
We are gonna do
moving
one.
forward. I don't know what the
I
process
feel
is.
like they glossed over it really quickly, like, yeah, you all know about this, right?
Yes.
Right, well, and I don't think a lot of people were doing it, so, so we could do an
Okay, so
email.
make a list and email out. We'll start there.
Um,
Start there, and if you find something in there, we can revert back to this one.
Right, of what our next steps are.
I might even just Google it too.
True.
So next week, when we said I looked on to the same section. So I thought we had it in our master plan as well, so. Okay. I'll go on to, and we can come back and say if you find something. 2E is assignment of a planning consultant. We do have a planning consultant. That task is done. I don't remember her last name, but Caitlin.
Have,
Yeah.
hold on, I've got it in the notes from the last week, Haben, Habben.
She keeps calling me about you guys.
Does she?
I thought she was somebody you were looking for
Oh,
somebody. to
no,
work
she's,
with.
oh, okay, you know, here's the thing.
And she
Because we
already
kind
called.
of will, the way we will utilize her is as we kind of like on-call thing. So if we need her, we'll kind of reach out to her with, kind of like how we do with the lawyer. I just don't call him on the regular. If I have a few things I need to cover, just for the way it works, I'll cover it with him, and then that way I won't need him billed for small little chunks instead of lots of chunks.
Yep.
So, yeah, so her name is Caitlin Haben, Habben.
She came in here last. She came in about our meetings or no? Maybe it was the council meeting.
Might have been. That was a
Or was it
July.
just us meeting? Is that what I'm thinking?
Oh, when she was on her way to Elmont,
Was she was
And
on the helmet? Yes,
Mike,
she stopped
you
in
and
real
and
fast.
I all met with her?
Okay,
Yes,
so now
that would have
that's
been,
why I'm remembering
Yep.
her being here, but not remembering. what
yeah,
else was
I think that would have been like
Okay.
this summer, August.
Being that we don't have a lot to say about this right now, I'm just gonna make a note to myself to email out the information I do have on Caitlin, that way we just have it. I'll just share, because I know there was a flyer on her and the company that she was with. She was out on leave, she had a baby, and they had a backup, so there was, I think they're a good company to work with, because they did have.
Wade Trim?
Yeah, this stuff here. Oh, Caitlin would see. But Wade Trim had a backup for her who was ready to serve as soon as if we had any questions, I don't think we had anything at the time. She does a lot of the smaller municipalities and villages. I want to say it was like, there we go, Village of Belmont, Inlet City, Hadley Township, Armada, no one's going to be as small as Leonard, but at least she's not working with the city of Warren, the city of Flint, the city of big gigantic. And okay, I guess I'll leave it at that. I'll just share that information, and I'll scan it and share it. Village council meeting update. I don't think there's anything out of the ordinary that I would bring to the council here for the village meeting update.
A lot of things are just in flux right now.
Yeah.
With the truck, we get the truck repairs done, the
Got a
grader.
new guy here.
Oh, I guess there's your update. Okay, there you go.
Not been since then, so
Building
yes,
demo.
welcome, aren't you? Listening?
Don't forget the building demo.
All right, that's a good.
There
one.
you
So
go,
yes, we welcome our
4285.
new
Thank you.
president. And 4285 needs to be demolished. There's really nothing in the middle of that. The attorneys came in and let us know that if we give any advice other than that, we become liable, and we're not willing to become liable. So we've authorized him to move forward with the next step.
That's the front one across from the,
Correct.
The findings of the dangerous building hearing
thank goodness.
stated that the only thing that could be done with it is to be demolished, so we can't divert from that path at all.
And there's really,
So,
nobody has expressed, lots of people have expressed interest in purchasing it, but they think they're gonna renovate it, they think it's in good shape, they don't realize there's a hole in the roof right now, they don't realize there's 3 feet of water in the basement, they don't realize there's really no septic.
and I think a lot of those people, and correct me if I'm wrong, are they sight unseen? Because when you approach the building, there's a great big sign right next to the door that's got bright yellow neon tape around it saying, dangerous building, this is condemned, it's slated to be demolished. Like right there next to the door. So unless people are doing something where they're speculating and they're not really ever seeing the property.
They're speculating.
Okay.
Yes, they're not even coming here unless they have the information beforehand to find, because that's what they, as soon as they ask the question of the agent sends them to you, and then they ask the question, they're not coming out here yet.
Okay.
Half of them probably don't even know where Leonard is.
Right.
They just know that it's in Oakland County and there's a buck to be made.
Yeah.
Right.
Oakland County is still one of the richest counties in the nation. Well, when they see something low price, they can get their foot in the door, they think they're gonna make a big score.
Yes.
Not on this one.
No, that time has passed. They could have, but the time has passed. And I think the owners still want too much money for it anyhow. If they could have sold that property for $20,000, somebody probably would pick it up,
Yeah,
demolish
because
it.
at
and
the
build
40, they
something
were
else.
starting new, so.
They
They had
want-
40 grand into it, they'd start anew, so, you know, they'd be
They
fine.
want 80. So it's 80 plus 20. So I quoted demoing it at 20. No, Bill was talking about getting another quote for it. But they want 80, so that puts you at 100. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So, and that's probably the biggest item there. I'm assuming that's a residential property. I'm assuming that there would be no changes to that.
Never changes the zoning on that.
You know, everything would stay the same. And I would assume that it would just be a vacant property for, now the grass can grow and nobody has to cut it.
Too bad.
Well,
It'd be a
yeah.
nice place to park across the park.
I wouldn't be opposed to the park being.
Even opening that up, just cutting down all the garbage that's there and opening it up and make the whole place look a lot nicer.
Well, or extend the park and just add some pine trees or something like that, you know. I think somebody gets away free trees, and Mike got free trees a couple of years ago. I was like, do you want these trees? And came in, they're like little sticks. We planted a couple, I don't remember where they are now. Any planning commissioner questions or concerns? We can open that up to everybody.
No, just a reminder that the next 2 months I'm out of town.
All right. No wakers.
We want to talk about when we will meet next, because we do have our meetings slated for the next year. So our fiscal ends right now. And then we'll start new in March. And so our meeting schedule March through March, so we need to have a minimum of 4 meetings. Being that I know things have been really busy for a few of us right now, with knowing that Doug's going to be gone already a couple months, do we want to make motions to cancel possibly the next 2 months' meetings? What are the thoughts of people?
Well, I guess let's go month by month, just
Let's
give
go
something
month by
came
month.
up.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, if something did come up, then
Sure, no, that's smart, Jennifer.
we can at least, we know that for the next 2, we can more than likely, we'll be able to cancel March and April, but I'll do them in the meeting one at a time.
Okay, so we'll just start with, go ahead and then we can always cancel them in the village council meeting if we need.
And then if we can, then I guess let's plan on May, it'll become the 15th, I believe, third Thursday.
I'm sorry, May what?
May 15th. 1, 2, 3. So let's plan for May 15th. Obviously, that can change, but just to get our cycle of meetings started.
Okay.
That way we don't end up at the end of the month going, no, we have to do November, December, January, and March.
Right.
So we don't have to.
Correct.
And by that time, well, maybe we can review the completed master plan.
And maybe by that time, we could have a really firm conversation about the sidewalk.
Yes. Yes, because that's getting to be groundbreaking.
We'll be
It's
there.
probably- Yeah, that's
Right.
about that's definitely a good time.
Yeah.
And then it's also pre-strawberry fest if that, for more connectivity and more stuff out of the way and done before people start stepping on it.
Right.
Okay, so plan for May 15th. As of right now, we will plan to cancel March and April. And like I said, I'll do those one at a time. If that changes, we'll let everybody know. Did you find anything for the,
I did not.
okay, which is fine because we're looking so fast.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know what's in there, but it's probably a line.
Yeah, right, it's
We
probably
might even
something
have to-
small.
We might even have to ask Caitlin what that's supposed to entail, so. If nobody has anything else to say, then we can,
7:42?
all in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are done.